I the a-hole for telling my cheating wife that I deserve a vacation with my girl best friend? My wife and I have been married for more than 2 decades now. We have 2 children who are 18 and both in college. A couple years ago, my wife admitted to cheating on me in a one-night stand. She said it was the worst mistake of her life and she really regretted it a lot. Our marriage was going through a lot of difficulties at the time, and we were even seriously considering divorce. However, I never expected my wife to betray me like that. My wife had a lot of remorse and was willing to do anything for reconciliation. While I did almost file for divorce, I decided not to and to give our family a chance. And to be honest, it was the best decision I've ever made in my life. Strangely enough, that incident, which pushed our marriage to the brink, also repaired our marriage. While I did still occasionally have days where I felt heartbroken and betrayed, those days were infrequent because my wife pretty much did everything possible to show how much she loved me and our family. I have also been friends with Vanessa since we were in kindergarten. Vanessa used to spend a lot of time over at my house, and she pretty much became my adopted sister. Vanessa and I were really close and never once lost our friendship despite all of the life changes we were going through. Vanessa was best woman at my wedding, and I was man of honor at hers. My wife initially was insecure of the friendship because she thought from her woman senses that Vanessa had feelings for me. However, after getting to know Vanessa, she realized that Vanessa was just my really close friend. Now, during the time my wife cheated on me, I did confide in Vanessa, and Vanessa recommended I take 3 weeks to take a breather and then make my decision. That was a really great suggestion and it saved my marriage. I told my wife about it, and my wife, too, was really grateful for Vanessa. Fast forward to today, and both my kids are in college. Last month, Vanessa reached out to me and asked if we could take a week-long trip to our hometown where we would just visit our favorite childhood places. It would be a road trip, and we would just drive through the city, visit our high school, favorite parks, restaurants, etc. To be honest, this suggestion really excited me because I was feeling a bit empty since my kids left for college. I told my wife about it and I expected some pushback. My wife expectedly was shocked and said this was a romantic trip I'm taking with my female best friend, and she was worried that something would happen in this trip, especially because Vanessa was divorced. I told my wife there's nothing romantic about this trip, and it's just a trip two friends are taking down memory lane. I told my wife I would have never even considered this trip if she hadn't cheated on me 2 years ago, but she has to allow this now. I need a mental health break, and I still occasionally get feelings for betrayal for what my wife did 2 years ago. After a lot of discussions, my wife ultimately did agree to it, and I was really happy about it. Was I the a-hole? I don't know who needs to hear this, but when it comes to cheating, there's no such thing as forgive and forget. And it's pretty obvious, sir, that you haven't done either. There's a lot to unpack here. You start off by saying your wife admitted to cheating. How did that come about? Did you find out first, confronted her, and then she admitted that she cheated? Or did she actually confess? This becomes relevant because you also said that your wife has been apologizing profusely and doing everything to regain your trust. When a person gets caught cheating, oftentimes they're sorry they got caught, not sorry that they cheated. She said it was only one time or one night, but regardless, she cheated and now you know about it. Well, you made a decision after much thought and consternation to remain in your marriage despite your wife cheating on you 2 years ago. There's one important thing you said that really sticks with me, and that's when you said, I told my wife I would have never even considered this trip if she hadn't cheated on me 2 years ago. But she has to allow this now. Well, first of all, she doesn't have to allow anything. I actually believe you and your female bestie are planning a platonic vacation together. I do. But come on, dude. Best friends, whether they're male or female, will cover for you when you're creeping outside your marriage. So Vanessa just might be a cover. But let's just say you're being honest and, you just really do need a break. Understandable. You yourself said you wouldn't even consider asking your wife for a pass. And no, you didn't call it that, but the fact that you even had the balls to ask because wifey cheated on you means this trip is in direct response to her cheating. And what kind of response is it if all you and Vanessa's planning to do is visit childhood friends from your old neighborhood? Is there one friend in particular that you're hoping to link up with? I don't know. Are you even sure if those old friends still live there? Did the old places survive the pandemic? I know I'm not your wife, but I have questions. So, since your wife cheated on you, you now have the courage and audacity to tell her that you want to go out of town with another female friend or not. Since she cheated on you, you want to be away from her for 7 whole days. Since she cheated, you want to spend some quality time with your female childhood bestie taking a trip down memory lane. Since she cheated, you asked that female childhood bestie to convince your wife to allow the two of you to go away on this 7-day trip down memory lane. Your good buddy Vanessa help you convince wifey to give you permission to take this week-long vacation. It's giving besties a little too invested in your marriage. Vanessa knows that your wife has been running around like Edith Bunker, doing everything within her power to please you and seek forgiveness for her one-night stand. Well, your kids are grown. They're away at college. So I'm wondering if that's why you feel more comfortable being away from wifey for a week out of town with another female. Oh, Frenchman, I get that part. And I know from experience that a man and woman can have a strictly platonic friendship, especially when the friendship started at childhood. But newsflash, you haven't forgiven your wife? At least not yet you haven't. I'm not sure if you have it in you to forgive your wife, but you'll never forget it. And I honestly don't blame you for that part, because forgetting means that you're making yourself vulnerable to more cheating in the future. You won't pay attention as much when she's away, and you'll go back to believing her every word. There's a price to pay for forgiveness. In this case, your wife has to deal with a new version of you. It's a monster that she created. One thing you have to know, though, is that there are steps to cheating. Unless it was a moment of drunkenness that led to that one-night stand. But if wifey was sober, there's a good chance she was entertaining another man behind your back the whole time. Hopefully, she didn't become emotionally invested as well. Or you have an even bigger problem on your hands, sir. Okay, I feel like I'm beating around the bush here, but sir, you are definitely the a-hole for asking your wife's permission to go away for a week with your female bestie. If it's such an innocent trip, why couldn't your wife just tag along? I'm sure Vanessa wouldn't mind, right? My advice is that you be honest with your wife and let her know you're not as forgiving as you'd hope to be. Not behind her cheating. Ask her for a weekend pass. It won't make you feel better about your wife's cheating, but at least you'll get your lick back. If your wife is okay with this, maybe you both can move on knowing that you both cheated in the marriage. But listen, the past doesn't have to lead to intercourse, but it could. So please wear a condom if it does lead to that, because the last thing anyone needs is a positive pregnancy test behind all this. You might choose to be intimate with another woman, and that can sometimes be a deep physical connection that leads to emotional bond, but it doesn't have to lead to sex. And it's more threatening to your marriage than cheating. The past could very well lead to you getting away, clearing your mind and thoughts about the infidelity, and whatever happens, happens. But don't you go back home and discuss it. Good luck to you and your wife, and I hope you can finally release no pun intended, all the frustration and anxiety you've been harboring for the past 2 years. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.